Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, before we get into the topics, I want to bring you up to date as to the scheduling on MHRT Network, as well as my own show on YouTube, Broncos Breakdown. Now, Broncos Breakdown on Tuesday is uploaded every for your viewing 4, 5, 6, and 7. Live show on MHRT Network on Tuesday is the 5280 podcast, and that's live every Tuesday 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on Wednesday we have the Wild Wild West featuring a fan from every AFC team: Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. That's uploaded 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on Thursday, we have the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast featuring Johnny Bakke and his good friend Isaiah Henderson. That's live every Thursday, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on Friday, Broncos Breakdown on MHRT Network is uploaded 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, guys, let's get into the topics and let's get started. First off, I want to talk about the Broncos in prime time. Now, with the addition of Russell Wilson, the Broncos are once again a hot item for primetime games. One would be opening week at the Rams, or Thursday, game 2 against the Chiefs. Ironically, the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs was week 2, Thursday night, 2015, when Peyton Manning was the quarterback. So I have a question, guys, and I'd like you to comment or which one you would choose in the comment line. All right, which game would you like to see the Broncos be in prime time? Now, if they can't be in both, which one would you want? Would you want opening week against the Rams at SoFi Stadium with Russell Wilson against his former rival in the NFC West, now playing in the AFC West? Would you like to see Russell Wilson against Matthew Stafford and the Rams on opening week? Or would you like to see Russell Wilson against Patrick Mahomes week 2, Thursday night? Now, my choice would be, well, it's kind of hard to say, because, you always want to have the opening week. I mean, that is just something fun. You just, you start the season off, you're in prime time, you're the only game in town. The other teams have not played yet, and you're the featured team along with the Super Bowl champions. So that would be a good game to watch. But then you got the AFC West rival Chiefs in primetime Thursday. Would you like to see that one? Primarily, what I would like to see is I would definitely like to see the Broncos and the Chiefs on Thursday. That's the game I would like to see, because I want to see how Russell Wilson plays against the AFC West. And what better way to find out than to have that game right, not necessarily out of the gate, because it'd be week 2, but we don't know the scheduling. We don't know if the NFL Commissioner's Office is going to slot the Broncos and Chiefs in game 2. Well, we don't know, because we don't know the dates yet. We don't know if it'd be in Kansas City or in Denver. But we do know that the Broncos play the Rams on the road. So we do know that game would be at SoFi Stadium. But we don't know what the Chiefs-Broncos game would be if it's in week 2. So it could be week 2, it could be week 5, it could be week 8. We don't know. But my question again is this: which game would you, the viewer, want to see? Opening week, Broncos at Rams, or week 2, Broncos and Chiefs? I say I would like to see Broncos and Chiefs. That's my choice. What's yours? All right, let's go to Mark Schlereth. Now, Mark Schlereth last week underwent heart surgery. It wasn't disclosed as to the nature of the surgery. He played 12 seasons in the NFL. First 6 with the then Washington Redskins, and the last 6 with the Denver Broncos. He was on the winning Broncos teams in back-to-back Super Bowls, 32 and 33. He is recovering well in a Denver hospital. Now, he thanked the surgeons, he thanked the nurses, he thanked everybody associated, all the prayers and well wishes for his recovery. He's recovering well. Like I said, we don't know the reason why heart surgery. I mean, he's 56 years old, so that's not that old to be having heart surgery, but we don't know. We don't know if it was because of hits and may have taken in football. We don't know. That wasn't disclosed, and it's patient confidentiality. So I get that. But we do wish Mark Schlereth a speedy recovery. We want to see you back as the analyst in the games on NFL on Fox. So Mark, take care of yourself, get well, and we look forward to seeing you back in the broadcast booth on Fox Sports. All right, I move on. Let's go to Melvin Gordon. Now, the Baltimore Ravens are having talks with Melvin Gordon to be their running back. But Gordon, however, wants to remain in Denver. Okay, I agree with that. I want him back in Denver. Absolutely, I want him back. I'd love the 1-2 punch with Gordon and Williams. But at what price? That's the problem. And the issue here is a fact that, the Broncos are only probably going to pay him $2.5 million a year at best. He's probably seeking anywhere from $7 to $10 million. I mean, that's his prerogative. That's his right to try and get as much as he possibly can. But if he wants to stay in Denver, then he's going to have to take the, quote, hometown discount. Does he want to do that? Obviously not at this point because he hasn't signed. Or is it because Denver doesn't want him back? I don't agree with that. I think Denver does, because I've heard that George Payton really, really likes Melvin Gordon, and he wants him back. He's even said that he wanted him back, but the price has to be agreed on. And right now, Gordon, or just recently, I should say, Gordon fired his 2 agents and hired 2 new ones because apparently, in his eyes and estimation, the previous ones were not getting a contract done. Is he going to Baltimore? I don't know. Nobody knows. He hasn't signed anywhere yet. But all I do know is I want Gordon back. I love the fact that he came in and was a different type of running back than Williams. He's more of a pound up the middle, whereas Williams is more of a guy who could carry people on his back. I don't want to lose a Melvin Gordon. But again, he's going to seek the amount of money that he feels he deserves, and whether that's with Baltimore or anywhere else, that's his prerogative. I do wish and hope that he comes back to Denver, but at this point in time, it's very unlikely unless he's willing to take, like I said, that hometown discount. All right, guys, let's go to Broncos Ownership. Now, Broncos Ownership, it was closed. The auction was closed last week. But here's something very interesting. Rob Walton of the Walton family, or I should say of the Walmart family, has put in a $4+ billion offer for the ownership of the Denver Broncos. The auction closed last Friday. His name is the only name that was made public. The new owner will have to be voted on by the league's other 31 owners. Now, this bothers me, guys, and I'll tell you why. It bothers me greatly because when a person that is a head of a corporation and a corporation owns a franchise team, the team usually doesn't do that well. Is it coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. And here's why. I will give you some examples. When the Los Angeles Dodgers were owned by a corporation and not the O'Malley family, they didn't do well at all. When the Anaheim Ducks hockey was owned by Disney. They didn't do well. And when the Chicago Cubs were owned, well, they were owned by the Wrigley family, but Wrigley was kind of a corporation because of the chewing gum that they owned and all that side of it. They didn't do well. But the Dodgers are now owned by a person, a family, and they won the World Series a couple years ago. The Anaheim Ducks are not owned by Disney anymore. They're owned by a family. And they recently won the Stanley Cup. And the Chicago Cubs are owned by Tom Ricketts and his family. And they won the World Series in 2016. The Denver Broncos have been owned since 1984 by Pat Bowlen and the family. And they've won Super Bowls. What am I saying, guys? What's the connection here? The connection here is when a family owns when a family owns a franchise and they put their heart and soul in that franchise, it pays dividends big time. When a corporation owns a franchise, it doesn't. And the main reason is because that's not where their heart and soul is. Their heart and soul is going to be what made them that money. And in the case of Rob Walton, it's Walmart. Do you realize that Rob Walton is worth $70 billion? And where did he get that from? From Walmart. And if he puts in $4.5 billion, let's say, into buying the Broncos, that's a drop in the bucket of what he's worth. You think he's going to really care about putting money into the Broncos? Do you think he's really going to care when $65 billion is coming from Walmart and only a handful, a drop in a bucket, is coming from the Bronco organization? Come on, man. Do you really think that? I don't. I don't trust this Rob Walton to be the owner. I don't think he's going to have his heart and soul into the team. I really don't. Think about it, guys. Think about it. Okay, it's prestigious to own an NFL team. Absolutely. It's prestigious to say that you're one of 32 owners. Okay, I get that. You got the feather in your cap. Okay, I get it. But where's your heart? Is your heart with the Broncos? Is it with the organization? Is it with the fans? Is it with the city, the state? I happen to believe it won't be. And that's what scares me to death. I don't want to see this team regress even more than it has. You can see what's happened in the last 5 years. Sure, it's the product on the field. I get it. But it starts from the top and without an owner that really cares. And I'm not saying that the Pat Bowlen children don't care. Of course they care. That's why Beth wanted to own and Brittany wanted to own. But the other siblings didn't want to go along with it. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And that's what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that it takes a person who cares, who wants to put money into it, because that's where they're getting the majority of their money from. I want to see a Brian Smith own this team. I know Brian Smith has other interests, but he's also a huge Broncos fan. He loves Colorado. He loves Denver. I can't say that about Walton. I really can't, because I don't trust and I don't believe. And that's the main issue I have. I sure hope that the other 31 owners don't approve if Walton's the highest bidder. I hope they throw every single one of them out until they get to a Brian Allen. I really do. I'm hoping Brian Allen did put in a bid. I don't know. Rob Walton is the only one that has surfaced as a person who put in the money to own the Broncos. And that is terrifying to me. Absolutely terrifying to the core. I mean, I could go on and talk about this for an hour. I'm not going to, but I could, because of frustration that I feel. I don't want this to happen. Absolutely do not want this to happen. I don't have any control over it, but I sure don't want to see Rob Walton be the owner of the Denver Broncos. I really don't. Because, like I said, over and over and over and over, that I don't trust that he will put his heart and soul into being a great owner of the Broncos like Pat Bowen was. All right, I move on. Okay, let's get to Rayfield Wright. Now, reason why I'm bringing this up is because there's ties to the Broncos. Okay, Rayfield Wright, a Hall of Famer offensive tackle, passed away last week at the age of 76. Now, Wright played all 13 seasons in Dallas and won 2 Super Bowls in the 70s. He was part of what became known as America's team. He was on the Cowboys Super Bowl team that beat the Broncos in 1977. And I know most of you are not going to know who Rayfield Wright was, but he was an outstanding offensive tackle. That game, that Super Bowl 1977 was very first Super Bowl that I watched being a Broncos fan. I've been a Broncos fan since 1976, and that was the first Super Bowl, obviously, the following January, 1977. That game crushed me. It was the first one, like I said. I believe the score was 23-10 in favor of the Cowboys, of course. And that one hurt. But I remember Rayfield Wright. He was an outstanding offensive tackle. It's always sad to see these legends that pass away. And the age of 76, I mean, it's a good amount of years, but it's still relatively early as far as age-wise goes. My heart goes out to his family. Heart goes out to the Cowboys and their organization. And Rayfield, may you rest in peace. All right, I move on to the second death that I have to bring to you in this show. And this one is disturbing on a number of fronts. But let me get into it. Dwayne Haskins, Steelers quarterback, was killed last week while walking on a Florida freeway. He was struck by a dump truck, and he was 24 years old and has not been determined as to why Haskins was walking on the freeway. Now, the reason why this disturbs me is twofold. One, why was he on the freeway? Was he walking in lanes? Was he on the side of the freeway? Was he in the center divide area? Did he try and run across the freeway for some reason? Was he by himself? Did he not have a cell phone? Was it early in the morning, late at night? All of these questions I have and no answers, because it hasn't been determined as to why he was even on the freeway. Did his car break down? Okay, and the other issue I have is the brain issue with concussions or head trauma from hitting shoulder pads or hitting a knee or hitting the ground on a sack, something of that nature. We've all heard of the brain issue, Junior Seau taking his own life. And then they discovered by examining his brain that he had that disorder from too many head trauma, too many concussions or incidents that cause brain damage. Then you have the former tight end of the New England Patriots. His name escapes me. He was in prison, and he took his own life, hanging himself. And again, they found out it was due to the brain disorder from too many head trauma. There's been other issues of that nature. So I wonder, but at age 24, could it be something of that nature? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'm just throwing questions out, guys. I'm throwing speculation questions out. I don't know. None of us know at this time. It hasn't been revealed. It may never be revealed. But that aside, it's tragic from the standpoint, obviously, he's 24 years old, and the nature of how he died. and where he was. He was in Florida working out with some of his players, some teammates, some receivers, trying to get the starting position for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then this happens. But more importantly, my heart goes out to his family, the Haskins family, the Pittsburgh Steelers family, their organization, their fans, the University of Georgia, where he graduated, those teammates, that organization, fans, coaches. My heart goes out to them for their loss, to the NFL in general, to all the different players that played against him. That is the main issue. That's the sad part. Obviously, it's sad that he's lost his life. No doubt. But my heart goes out to all of those that are affected by his sudden passing. Dwayne, may you rest in peace. And to your family and everyone that knew you, my condolences go out to every single one of you as well. Dwayne, rest in peace. All right. I move on to Deshaun Watson. Now, it looks like Deshaun Watson will not be distracted by any civil lawsuits during the 2022 NFL season. Watkins' attorneys and the courts have agreed to not schedule any trials between August 1st, 2022 and March 1st of 2023. There's a possibility that some cases may even be settled out of court. Well, that's good news. He's not going to have any distractions off the field. What about on the field? What about distractions that teammates, not necessarily teammates, opposing players, may say to him during a tackle or a sack or something? How about the fans when he goes to visiting cities? They're going to make comments possibly. He's going to hear those. What about in interviews or in the media? What about even some of the Cleveland fans? Who knows? But he's not going to have any off-field distractions, but he certainly could have on-field distractions in different cities. It'll be interesting to find out what takes place. It's interesting also for me to see how he's going to handle all this. Is it going to get to his head? Is it going to be a distraction that he can't seem to get away from? Or is he strong enough to be able to put all this behind him? I don't know. None of us know until we see him on the field game time. It's going to be interesting, guys. But at least off the field, those distractions will not come into play. All right. I move on to the, let's see. I've already touched on bases on that and that. Okay. Let's go to this interesting topic that I'm going to wrap up the show with. And here it is. This one's kind of bothering because the Broncos are ranked number 2. And it's not in a very good sense at all. Here it is. Most arrests of players on an NFL team since 2000. The AFC West teams are ranked as follows. AFC West teams are ranked as follows. And then I'll give you who's number 1. It's outside the AFC West. The Broncos, like I mentioned, are ranked number 2 with 54 arrests since 2000 of players on their team. 54. Are you kidding me? 54 arrests since 2000? That's only 22 seasons. That means that more than 2 per season, on average, there have been arrests of a player or players on the Bronco organization. That is outlandish. That's hard to fathom. That's hard to believe. Now, yes, we know that Gregory's on the Broncos and he's had issues. We also know that Romanowski had issues when he was on the team, and others. But 54? Holy smokes, that's a lot. I would think the Raiders would be at least number 1. But like I said, the AFC West doesn't have a number 1 as far as ranking. That's outside. That's even outside the AFC. The number 2 team is the Denver Broncos. Number 4 is Kansas City with 40. Chargers are number 20 with 27. And the Raiders? The Raiders are 22 with 25. Now, come on, guys. That's got to be a misprint. It has to be a misprint. The Raiders can't be at 25 and the Broncos at 54. That means the Raiders are less than half arrests since 2000 than the Denver Broncos? That is absolutely unfathomable to me. Totally unfathomable. I mean, okay, I know the Raider fans dress up in garb that looks mean and nasty and that's their image. I get that. And now they're in Vegas where, you know, you have all the gambling and all of that and other ways to get arrested. I get that. But they only have 25 in the same amount of time the Broncos have 54? Oh, I'm speechless. I'm speechless because that, to me, I can't even name 10 that I know of that have been arrested for various reasons or whatnot. Wow. And the number 1 team with the most arrests since 2000 is another surprise to me. It's the Minnesota Vikings with 55 arrests. And Denver's right underneath them with 54? That is absolutely, to me, mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. Now, the 32nd ranked team is a team that hasn't been in the league that long. And it's the Houston Texans. That's right, Houston Texans with 10. And guess what? Deshaun Watson played for the Texans, so he's probably one of the 10. But I go back to the AFC West. Broncos 54, Chiefs 40, Chargers 27, the Raiders 25. I never, ever would have expected that. Not at all. Not at all. But that is extremely disturbing to me because in my opinion, when you're arrested, it's for off-field issues. And I don't like seeing the Broncos having that many arrests since 2000 of players with off-field issues. I don't like it. I've mentioned many times in shows past, guys, I don't like signing players that have off-field issues because of this very fact. It comes back to rear its ugly head. And I don't like it. I hope this number goes down. I hope it continues to go down as years to come. But I found that extremely interesting and alarming at the same time. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. And let me remind you once again of the shows that are going to be upcoming in this week. Got Broncos Breakdown on Tuesday, uploaded this show, uploaded on Tuesday, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on Tuesday, also on MHRT Network, is a live show, 5280 podcast, that goes live every Tuesday, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on Wednesday, on MHRT Network, you have the Wild Wild West, featuring a fan from every AFC West team, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. That's uploaded every Wednesday, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And on Thursday, a live show. It's called Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast, featuring Johnny Bucky and his good friend Isaiah Henderson. That's live every Thursday, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on Friday, on MHRT Network, the Broncos Breakdown, featuring me, Bronco Bill, uploaded every Friday, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's the same kind of topics, but different ones thrown in. So please tune in to every single one of these shows. Find one that you like, support, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up button. We love to see you guys supporting not only Broncos Breakdown, but all the MHRT other shows. Thanks a lot, guys. We will see you on Friday. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week and happy Easter on Sunday. Talk to you then, guys, on Friday. Take care.